Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. The Philly Pod is here with another episode. I'm Dave, along with my friend Mike. We're here to bring you another episode of the Philly Pod, and a lot of things have changed in the last week. Sixers got on the board with their first W there, Mike.
Yeah.
That was pretty sweet to see. Yeah, overtime win over the Indiana Pacers. And the Philadelphia Eagles playoff hopes looks like they have officially, well, not officially, but they've taken a serious blow. Now sitting at 4-4 as of this recording of this podcast. They are 4-4, about to play the Atlanta Falcons. Either way, not looking too great for the Sixers. Flyers were in action again this past week. Dropped a game close, and yet the Phillies making some moves. Yeah. So, Mike, there is a lot to talk about this week in Philly sports. And I think, first off, we need to talk about the Eagles. And we talked a lot about Doug Pederson, specifically as a head coach, last week on this show, and we questioned some of the decisions that he had made at that time in the Dallas game and how it impacted him as a head coach. And then the past week, you know, we're not going to delve into the Giants game. We saw the same sort of mistakes happening. So here's what I want to do first off, Mike. You know, it's officially the halfway mark of the season. We're going to grade Doug Pederson as a coach so far. Okay? Now, I'm going to go first with my grade. I give him a C+. I give him a C+ because, you know what? It's been a mediocre season so far. Started off really strong. Saw good play calling. Time management was good. But now the last 5 games, we've seen some things that are concerning. And see some things need to be improved. Play calling's been questionable. Personnel decisions questionable. Discipline issues are questionable. So right now, there's a lot that I'm just not sure about across the board. So I give him a C+.
Me and you are on the same wavelength right now, Dave. I give him a C+ too. Again, started off strong. I thought, it was going to be, optimistic about, the season. Carson Wentz playing as well as he had at the beginning of the season. But yeah, lately he's made a lot of questionable decisions. Of course, the disciplinary course of actions, decision making on the field, just. It seems like he's kind of fallen off a little bit from where he was at the beginning of the year.
It does. He came out strong, and when we first started this podcast, it was back in the summer, and my initial thoughts, I was not big on Doug Pederson, but he came out and he impressed in those first 3 games. He did, and now I don't know if it's the right thing to say is that he's regressed, but I don't like what I've seen.
No,
I don't like what I've seen the last handful of games here.
Yeah, I don't know if he's regressed. I think it had a lot of his decision making.
The what?
Yeah, a lot of his moves have been questionable. And I don't know if it's just the fact that he's still learning as a head coach, or the fact that he's taking on a lot of responsibilities. He's also calling the offensive play calls. So I don't know if he's handling too much right now and doesn't have the experience, or it's just a fact that he's, just trying to learn and kind of feel his way through as a head coach for the first time.
Well, what are your thoughts on him as a head coach? From what you've seen through 8 games, by the time this is out there, it'll be 9 games. What are your thoughts on Doug Pederson so far as a head coach overall?
I think he's done an okay job. New coach, got to learn. Rookie quarterback. I think he's just done an okay job. Nothing spectacular, but not horrible enough to where it's like I'm gonna bash him repeatedly.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There are some things that he's done that are really good. Yeah. I thought he had some great game plans early on in the year, but as we've progressed and as teams have adjusted to what Doug Pederson and the Eagles were doing, I haven't seen counter adjustments yet. And the offense has not looked as crisp as they did those first 3 games.
No, they haven't.
No. There are some issues going on there. And I look at the personnel decisions. I look at the way he's managed games. Like his decisions, he's been over-aggressive a lot of times. And I don't I don't like what I see there. And I don't know if these are things that are correctable. So I have concerns right now as Doug Pederson. I'm not ready like some people are saying. Some people are saying get rid of him, fire him, get out of town. He's going to be this, he's going to be that. I can't say that.
Slow it down. I mean, it's only been 8 games. Gotta give the guy some. I mean, look at Andy Reid. Andy Reid is a prime example, and I know we've compared him a lot, but Andy Reid is a prime example of a guy that, had a bad first year, but he led the Eagles to the playoffs in his second year.
He did. And right now, Doug Pederson's on pace to have a better season than Andy Reid did that first year. I can't say either way. I'm concerned. Don't get me wrong. I'm concerned by some things that I'm seeing. Okay? But having said that, it's only 8 games in. I don't know that I can project it out over the next 4 years and say, yeah, Doug Pederson doesn't have it.
Yeah.
I gotta wait. I have to wait a little bit longer till I see that. And I can say that.
I'm on board with that.
So we asked the question to the people. We put that question out there to the people on Facebook, or not on Facebook, on Twitter, the other avenue, having to see what some of our followers say. And at Philly Nation checked in with us with the message. And here's what he had to say. Don't pay attention to the haters out there about Doug Pederson not taking the points against the Giants. Because I agree with him both times when going for it. He's referencing those 4th down calls. Only thing is, he really doesn't have anything to work with. And I hate to use that excuse, but it's reality. The Eagles weren't supposed to be a good team this year. And with what he's done so far, it's impressive. Look for the Birds to draft mostly offensive players in the draft, considering they already have a nice core on defense. Well, I mean, I don't know if I can really use the excuse that he doesn't have much to work with. Because in spite of that, let's be real, they should be 7-1.
Yeah.
Okay, if you take away the fact that they gave away the Detroit game, they gave away the Dallas game, and they gave away the New York Giants game. Those 3 games right there, they're 7-1. Maybe they should be 6-2. At absolute worst, they should be 5-3. So I can't really excuse him for that. The Detroit loss, I don't really put that on him.
Yeah.
I don't put that on him. But Dallas and New York, those are squarely I put on Doug Pederson's shoulders. And I don't think he gets a pass for that just because he doesn't have as much talent to work with.
Now, I agree with the fact that I like the aggressiveness, but it was the play calling that he went with, in that aggressiveness that I didn't like. Both plays were on place. The read option play to Carson Wentz.
Oh, that was terrible.
That was
the quarterback sweep.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no excuse for that.
No.
For seeing things like that. No excuse for not calling the timeout with 30 seconds left. No excuse for not calling kicking a 53-yard field goal.
Yeah.
These are things that are inexcusable, regardless of whether or not you have talent there.
And then going for it on 4th and 1 with Darren Sproles as opposed to going with Ryan Matthews. I thought if you go with Matthews there, you may have a chance to get in that. But with Darren Sproles, he's just too small. Doesn't have that strength to power his way through.
Yeah, for sure. That's another question. That's another questionable one. And he's saying, before I get to the next one, I mean, he's saying Darren Sproles is number 1 running back. And Darren Sproles is on pace to have the highest amount of touches in his career that he's ever had at the age of 33. And he's probably your best offensive weapon right now. I don't think that's another example. I don't think that's a prudent strategy right now.
No.
You need Darren Sproles to have any chance going forward. And right now, you're going to run him into the ground. Then we have Bagman15 checking in on his thoughts on Doug Pederson so far. Says, Doug is learning. Not as bad as I thought he would be. Give him time. Worst thing was winning the first 3 games. Expectations got too high. And I think Bagman makes a pretty good point there. Probably the worst thing that could have happened was to come out and they win those first 3 games, especially the way that they did. It changed expectations for the season. And, the Eagles have hit a rough spot here. And that's probably fueling some criticism. That's probably accurate.
You know what? I agree with that. I mean, the first 2 games I thought they could definitely win. But then to beat Pittsburgh the way they did, I think that definitely they were – I don't think they were ready to, have that type of hype around them yet. And I think that definitely affected the outlook on the season. And then to go on the bye week, and then you kind of got a little cold there.
1-4, 1-4 after the bye.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that's unacceptable.
Yep.
I'm not saying Doug Pederson is going to be a bad coach. I'm saying what we've seen so far, it's the mistakes we've seen. It's unacceptable. So expectations too high. Yeah, they probably got too high. But you know what? When you go 3-0 and you rout the Steelers like you did, I mean, the way I think expectations do change a little bit.
They do, and they should.
They should when you get off to a rolling start like that. So Doug P. All right, has he been terrible? No, but he's done some good things. Got some things that need to improve on. And then Gene K checking in on his thoughts on Dougie P. Hey, great attitude and approach. He's learning as he goes, and he's going to grow as is Wentz, and now Treggs is going to grow as well. I say they're doing fine so far. I don't know if I say they're doing fine so far. They're doing fine. They would be sitting at 6-2 or 5-3. But when you make decisions like having Carson Wentz roll out on a QB sweep, Darren Sproles up the middle. Like I'm looking at that and I say, okay, all right, Doug, you did some good things. If I have my grade sheet, all right, Doug, you did some good things here. But QB sweep, I lose points for that. Darren Sproles up the middle, lose points for that too. He's been okay.
Yeah,
and I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, he's only been okay. You can't say he's been great, but you can't say he's been horrible.
Real quick, what do you think about the game? Well, we're recording this on a Saturday before the Falcons game. You think they win tomorrow? Do you think they win against the Falcons?
I think they have a chance. I know that Matt Ryan's road record is not as good as it is at home. So they have a chance, but I think the Falcons ultimately come away with this one.
Oh, I got the Eagles winning. I think the Eagles take this game. Falcons are only 2-point favorites. Only 2-point favorites in this game.
Oh,
that's an Eagles line.
I think I know where this is going.
That's an Eagles line. That's an Eagles line. I'm taking the Eagles in my pools. I don't know if I'm going to make one of my plays in the week.
Okay.
But I do like the Eagles. I think they get the W this week. It's just going to be whether or not they can contain Julio Jones and what their game plan is going to be on defense.
I was going somewhere else. I was thinking a sandwich bet, but...
You want one? You want to do? I'll do a sandwich on that if you want to.
All right, let's do it.
All right, sandwich bet. All right, you got the Falcons.
I need to get out of this sofa that I'm in.
You got to get on the board, yo.
Yeah, I haven't won a sandwich bet yet.
You should just take me to Shady Maple. Had to go that smorgasbord. That would be just the same. All right, there you go. We got a nice. All right, that's a nice little wager on the game there. Okay, man, you going against anti-Philly today? Well, your last two bets have been anti-Philly.
It's kind of tough when you've lost, 4 of your last 5, Dave. Yes.
That's true. That's true.
So, skepticism is...
Never underestimate the ebbs and flows of the NFL.
Yeah.
Never underestimate that.
Yeah, now that I've said that...
But speaking of that, who the teams to beat in the NFL? What do you think? Give me the team out of the AFC and NFC.
Right now, I gotta say the Patriots out of the AFC. They're rolling on all cylinders right now. Tom Brady, he looks better than ever. 39 years old, too.
Yeah, isn't that something?
And as much as I hate to say it,
even though
the Cowboys, yeah,
it's Cowboys,
yeah.
I think at this point it's pretty easy both ways. Patriots, I mean, it says everything. It says everything you need to know. They go 3-1 with Jimmy Garoppolo and Jacoby Brissett.
Yep,
says it right there.
Yep.
Now, I see are the Raiders ready to take down the Patriots? I don't think so.
No.
They're off to a good start, but I got to see more from a young team first.
Yeah, I think they're going to fizzle out.
They might.
Make the playoffs.
They might. But the Cowboys right now, I mean, are they the best team in the NFC? Record-wise, they are.
They are.
You mentioned the stat when we were recording right before the show about the Cowboys' opponents' win percentage this year.
The win percentage is only a .369 winning percentage.
So what does that say?
And they haven't beaten a division leader yet.
No, they haven't. I mean, yeah, they beat the Packers, but now we're starting to see, all right, well, the Packers aren't quite what we thought they were going to be. So we'll see. I think all I'm going to say is I think the Cowboys have a very, very tough game in store for them this week against the Steelers.
Yeah.
Just put a little foreshadowing. That's all I'm doing, a little foreshadowing there. But right now, I can't go against the Cowboys or the Patriots.
No.
I don't know. Could the Falcons make a run? I mean, maybe. But they got to straighten up on the defensive side of it. The Seahawks maybe, but they got the Seahawks might be tough because looks like they're starting to get the offense turned around. But I'm with you right now. It's Cowboys Patriots.
The Cowboys just like the complete team in the NFC.
I still think that defense is suspect though. I still think you can. I think you can get if you get an offense that's really rolling, you can take advantage of that defense. I do still believe that. But right now, you said it. They're firing on all cylinders. And of course we had the 76ers get their first win. First win of the year, finally. It was another overtime game against the Indiana Pacers.
Yes.
And Joel Embiid, man, again, 25 points, 7 boards in 26 minutes.
How about that? Yeah,
led the way. And it got me thinking, talking with a lot of people out there, even, with some buddies and people on social media, there is a big, big movement right now. A lot of people believe Brett Brown should be fired at this point in time. And, what they're saying is it's because the Sixers have been in a lot of close games so far. And a fair criticism, I think, that Brett Brown is not putting them in the best position to close out these games with who he's giving the ball and the plays he's drawing up at the end. And this is what they're saying justifies him getting fired. I mean, I hear Brett Brown getting fired this early in the season. I think is absolute. It's ludicrous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He still has nothing to work with.
That's my counterpoint.
I mean, seriously, he's got
my counterpoint.
Yeah, he's got some pieces now he has to work. Like, okay, Embiid's a piece. Okafor's okay. Dario's, but who else?
Yeah.
Who else they have on this team?
Who has he had to work with over the past, 3 seasons that he's been here?
Yeah. I don't understand. I still don't get the mindset where people are coming from. Where I see they keep losing close games. Oh, now see, it's Brett Brown. It's all Brett Brown. Losing attitude, losing atmosphere. I don't get it. Because you have to remember, he's got no talent.
Yes.
Okay, right now, listen, they have Simmons coming. All right, they're going to have another picks coming in the future, but they got nothing on this team. They have Jared Bayless, who's going to come back from injury, and we'll see what he brings. But let's go through the roster. T.J. McConnell, can't play.
Yeah.
Sergio Rodriguez, can't play.
No.
Nick Stauskas, yeah, can't play.
Yeah.
Haas Thompson,
can't play.
Can't play. Ilyasova, good player, serviceable NBA player. He's got something there. I can't think. Robert Covington.
Can't play.
Can't play. Finally showed up one game last week, knocking down some threes, but he can't play.
They've got a team full of D-leaguers.
I don't know if it's that. That's what they had last year. I don't think it's quite as bad this year. They actually do have talent.
Oh, they do. They do. That was more of a not on.
No. I know what you're saying, but I still can't justify getting rid of him at this point.
No.
And then I'm sorry, it's still wrong. What they did to him the last 3 years, stick him with that absolute garbage of a team they had the last 3 years, and they're going to turn around and fire him as soon as he gets some pieces to work with. You still don't know.
Yeah.
You won't know until you get Simmons here, when Okafor is playing healthy, when Embiid's playing healthy, you have Dario, Ilyasova. You just don't know yet.
No.
Sixers fans they're frustrated. I think where this is coming from, Mike, I think Sixers fans are just tired. They're frustrated, they're losing, and they're just looking for someone to blame.
Yeah.
And I get it. Listen, I get it. All right, we suffered through 3 long years, but we got to remember, guys, this is going to be a losing year too.
Yep.
We were not going to compete. Don't get caught up. As well as Joel Embiid looks, he is going to be the next big thing. Okay, there's no doubt right now what he's showing us. But we weren't going to win this year, even with that.
Let's not forget where Brett Brown comes from too. Greg Popovich, one of the greatest coaches of all time. Are
you calling him Pop? You going to say he's Pop?
No, I'm not calling him Pop, but he learned under Pop.
Yeah, and that goes for something. That's the thing. I can't say he's going to flop out of the league, and I can't say he's Greg Popovich yet because you don't know.
Yeah.
Guys, simmer down. All right, simmer down on Brett Brown. You got to give him some time. I understand people don't like seeing Gerald Henderson with the ball in his hands, the last play of the game. I get it. Okay, but give him some time.
Patience.
Okay, we got to see. We're not going to find. This is when we start finding out about Brett Brown. Okay, when he starts getting the pieces in here, we're still not there yet, guys. I understand we want it. We're getting close. We're tasting some W's. We're tasting it with Joel right now. It's like the chilies. It's like making a pot of chili, Mike.
Yeah.
Take a little spoonful. You see, ooh, that tastes good.
Yeah.
It's not ready yet.
Oh.
It's not ready yet. All right,
Oh.
let it simmer.
Yes.
It's going to get better. All right, the Sixers will be fine. We have to give it more time.
Yep, I agree.
And then we got the Flyers, Mike's Flyers, the orange and black. Again, we continue to see it, man. It's the two things that are killing this team, one more so than the other. Defensively, it's killing them, and the goaltending on this team is atrocious. I'm sorry. I mean, they got issues between the pipes, man.
Beware of a grind about this team coming down the road.
But why, dude? Can I ask you a question? Why don't we bring up Stolarz? Why can't we bring up Stolarz?
Cap issues. if you can't really do anything with, because we're so tied up in cap. Paul Holmgren made the cap issue a complete mess, and not to mention you have the contracts that these goalies have.
He's making that much. Stolarz isn't making that much money, but you can't.
No, but it's the other two goalies that are making the money.
Oh boy! Oh, Siri's going off on my phone. Sorry, I didn't heard who me out of left field. It caught me off guard.
That's good.
I mean, yeah, they invested a lot of money in Neuwirth and Mason. They have a lot tied up there. It's just I can't take it, man. I can't take watching this and that. I can't do it.
It's not so much the goalies too. It's the other players that they have invested. So like Giroux, Voracek, Simmons, Shen. There are a lot of guys that they have that they've invested in, and not to mention the prior contracts, that they have, they had to deal with, the LeCavier contract, the Chris Pronger contract, the Ilya Brizgalov contract. So many contracts that Paul Holmgren, created, and that we don't have that type of space yet. So. And Hextall's done a fantastic job of getting us out of the cap space issues. It's just a matter of cleaning it up and getting these guys ready for the future. Because right now, even though the Flyers could be contenders for the playoffs, I think they really need to worry about the future of this team. And I think that Stolarz right now is the future of the team. It's just not yet. Not yet. You want to sort out the defensive issues. You want to sort out, whatever other issues there might be first, and then move ahead with Stolarz. I definitely expect him to be caught up, if not this year, next year, because I think there is some potential with this team. Just the potential isn't there yet.
All right, I'm trying to find some save percentage ranks on Neuwirth and Mason here, because there's been a lot of defense. Oh, I got them up. All right, so for all you people out there who are especially defending Neuwirth, I don't understand. There's a lot of love for Steve Mason in this town, which I don't understand. Here are the stats for you. All right, Mike, ready? Save percentage. All right, Steve Mason, .874 save percentage.
That's horrible.
Good for 46th in the NHL among
horrible.
goalies. And Michael, not far behind Michael Neuwirth, .859 save percentage. Good for 48th in the NHL.
That's hard.
So all you people who defended both these goalies, all right, as a defense, supported them a lot of times? No. But 46 or 48th, it sucks. That is atrocious.
That's garbage.
Both these guys stink, man.
That means that they're behind backups, too.
Yeah.
Because there are only 30 teams in the league.
Yeah, I'm looking here.
There are backups that are ahead of these guys.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
That's a shame right now, because goaltending is ultimately holding this team back right now.
Yeah. You need a goalie to stand on his head every once in a while. And I'm not saying that the defense, that the fault doesn't lie on the defense as well, because the defense,
46 to 48th, though?
Yeah.
That speaks for itself. Regardless of defense, that speaks for itself, man.
I know.
I'm not coming at you. I'm tired of hearing it, man. Mason. It's always with the defense.
Yeah.
It stinks.
The goalies got to stand on their heads.
Come on. It's the most. It's the second most important position in sports.
I would agree.
That makes a big difference.
I would agree.
In teams right there.
I would agree.
And the Flyers don't have that.
No, they don't.
And until they get that, they're not going to be ready to compete.
Nope.
But I mean, you say Stolarz. I haven't seen Stolarz play in action yet. You say he is the kid of the future. If that's the case, man, move something around. Can we try? I don't know all the specifics of the cap space. We got to try to do something to get this kid up, because you can't. He's not going to be worse than 48th.
Yeah.
In the NHL.
I doubt it. I would agree with you there.
Right. So I don't know. Hopefully the Flyers make some adjustments there. I would love to see him up, because I can't take it anymore, man.
They play the Wild tonight, by the way. The Minnesota Wild.
We'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll maybe see what the line is on that game. But I'm just fed up with watching them in goal, dude.
So am I. I think you and a lot of other people are fed up with them in that.
Phillies making some headlines too this past week. Darren Ruff and Darnell Sweeney were shipped out, to the Los Angeles Dodgers in exchange for Howie Kendrick.
Yes.
The Phillies getting Howie Kendrick, and now there's also rumors that at the GM meetings that Cesar Hernandez is rumored to be somebody in play to be traded. So it got me thinking, Mike, are these? Is this going to be the sign of sign of an aggressive offseason for the Phillies? Or they're just looking to continue to rebuild and get prospects?
I think it's them rebuilding. They need some veteran leadership on this club. They need some veteran leadership. They need some players that have been there before, and I think they need it. They need productive veteran leadership. So I think that this is just a move to get veterans in here and buy some time for those that are still developing in the minors.
Howie Kendrick, 33 years old, left fielder. Last season, 255 average, 8 home runs, 40 RBIs, and 146 games played. Career numbers for Howie Kendrick, let me get him up here. Spent a lot of time in the American League. All right, he's a career 289 hitter and career 332 on base percentage and 417 slugging percentage. So,
Yeah.
This trade doesn't really do a whole lot for me.
Nothing spectacular, but it does bring a veteran presence.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I mean, they don't really give up anything. Darren Ruff and Darnell Sweeney. So I'm fine with it. I kind of see what they're going for there. I don't the Cesar Hernandez deal, I wouldn't mind.
No.
Cesar is a nice little player, but I'm not as high on him as some people are. I've just seen him to do too many stupid things during games. Like, how many times I've seen him, lay down a drag bunt with 2 outs to try to sneak on base. He did this. Now, he was eventually batting leadoff, which, okay, fine. He tried it then, but there were times, Mike, he was batting in the 8-hole, and he's with 2 outs, and he's dropping down the bunt to try to get on base. I'm like, pitcher's right behind you. What are you thinking, man?
Yeah, not thinking at all.
It's a little thing, but I saw that a lot from Cesar Hernandez, enough to make me sort of be like, what's going on between your ears sometimes?
Yeah.
So I'm actually more surprised that we haven't heard more about Odubel getting traded, because that was the one. I don't think this regime really likes Odubel.
No.
I really don't, and it's understandable. He pouts, has some mental lapses. So it wouldn't entirely surprise me at all to see Odubel and Cesar on the way out.
Yeah.
I don't really know if it signifies an aggressive approach that they're going to go out and try to win now. I think it's just more like they're still trying to rebuild. I think, my opinion, I think they look at Cesar Hernandez to see a guy who's peaked, he's at his peak right now, and they're trying to get some profit in return for it.
While they still can.
Yeah, and I think they're trying to do the same with Odubel. But I hate to let Phillies fans down, because I love the Phillies. That's my squad in this town.
Yep.
But I don't see it yet. I think this is still just all part of the rebuilding process.
Yeah.
If I had to say, that's probably the team that's farthest away right now.
Yep, I would agree.
There are a lot of holes they need there.
They need some power. They need some. They need run producers.
Still need some arms. And I say arms because I don't know. We saw what happened to Aaron Nola.
Yeah.
The second half of last season.
Yeah.
He's out the rest of the year. He's a fatigued arm. He had trouble there. What's he going to be coming back this year?
Yeah.
That's a fair question.
Yep.
I don't know what to expect of him this year, to be honest. So I would love to say the Phillies are looking to go out and win now, but they're not. Like, let's get real.
Yep.
All right, we gotta move it along here. Coming up now, we have grind time. Grind time. I think Mike has got a grind ready for us for this week. Mike, take it off here, man. It's your segment.
We mentioned this earlier, Dave, and it's about the Philadelphia Flyers goaltending. We were up 3-2 last night in the game, and they go ahead and give up 3 goals in the third period. A goalie's got to be able to stand on his head. You got to win games that way. Because if you can't, you're worthless. You're pretty much worthless. So, step it up. Mason, Neuwirth, step it up. Come on. Be better than this. 46th and 48th. Jeez. Come on. Step it up, guys. Step it up. Short grind, but that's my grind for the week.
Who was in goal for that game last week?
Mason.
It was last night, but remember, people hear this is going to be last week. It was Mason?
I think it was Mason.
Oh, yeah, about that. Steve Mason.
Yep.
Oh, so he gave up how many in the third?
3.
3. There you go. All you Steve Mason lovers out there. 3 goals in the fourth period.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll hear all the excuses this week on social media.
But you know what? I'll give some props to another coach out there in the NHL, Mike Babcock. After it was after practice, power went out. He had the guys back skating.
Well, how about that?
Yeah, some old school mentality.
How about that?
I like that.
Yeah. The Flyers, they have any of that going on here, Mike?
No.
No?
No.
None of that going on? Well, I guess they weren't going to win anything this year anyway, then.
Nope, I wasn't expecting them to win anything this year anyway.
All right, so coming up now, we have The Buzz. We bring you wacky, crazy stories, headlines from all over the globe. We kept true to that last week, Mike. We kept it global.
Yes.
Two stories from different parts of the world. We're going to start off here, though. We're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back local, okay?
All right.
And we're going to start off in California.
Ooh.
As you guys know, we just had the presidential election this past week, which we need to talk about really quick before we sign off. But we had the presidential election. There was Election Day this past Tuesday, the 8th. And we're going to Oceanside City, California.
Huh.
Mentioned. It was Election Day, all right? And Oceanside City, we had the election for mayor, all right? Where the incumbent, Gary Ernst, was running for re-election and successfully defeated Nadine Scott to hold his seat.
Yes.
One problem, though. Gary Ernst passed away almost 2 months ago on September the 24th. And he was elected, posthumously he was elected as the mayor.
People need to follow the news more often.
Well, here's what happened. The city claimed that they could not remove Ernst's name from the ballot because they claimed they did not have enough time to do so.
You had 2 months to do this, and you didn't even bother to think about it?
I mean, I could get if this was like something they did to sort of like honor the guy, but that was not the case here. They just left him on, and he still beat her. 2 months? Yeah, I mean, 2 months, and he won by 6 percentage points. That's a big gap. So do you think it's just people didn't realize they were watching the news?
Gotta pay attention to the news, man.
I guess so. Miss Scott is hoping that she will eventually be appointed to the position since Ernst obviously passed away. But interesting story there. Yeah. There you go. You can get elected you can still be elected even from beyond the grave. Yeah. Apparently.
That's interesting.
All right, and then, Mike, we're going to go out global again.
All right.
And we're going to Lisbon, Portugal.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah, going down to South America.
Yes.
All right. Where apparently there was an incident in the museum. All right. And a classic 18th century statue, a 300-year-old statue, this is, was destroyed in the National Museum of Ancient Art. It was shattered to pieces when it was knocked over by a tourist trying to take a selfie. The tourist tried to get as close as he could to the statue, get himself in, apparently lost his balance, fell over, statue down.
Wow.
Smashed. Pieces. Damaged, according to the museum, damaged beyond repair.
Wow.
It said the statue of St. Michael dates back to the early 1700s. Now, it gets interesting here. Okay. The offending tourist, okay, reportedly took pictures of the shattered statue on his phone, posted them to his Facebook account later in the day.
Why? People can track you like that. Why? What are you thinking there?
The Portuguese Ministry of Culture has said the accident has raised serious concerns about adequate security in the museum, which museum officials admit was seriously lacking.
Wow.
Now, that guy's got to pay for the statue, right?
Yeah.
Seriously, what do you think that cost? Dude, that's over 300-year-old statue. It goes back to 1700s.
That's expensive.
I won't want that, Bill.
No.
You might be working the rest of your life to pay that back.
Oh, you'd have your great-great-great-grandchildren work for the rest of their lives.
Now, this doesn't say anything about charges or anything. The charges are still pending, but I would think something's going to be happening there. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't want to be that guy. How'd you like to be that guy in the museum? Like, yo, man, I got to get myself real...
Oh, shit.
Oh, now I want to be that guy, dude.
No.
Oh, man, but there we go. There's the buzz, wacky, crazy headlines from around the world. All right, so we got to move it along. We have our pick segment coming up now, where I continued to stay hot. I was 2-0 last week. You know, I had the Falcons taking down the Bucs and the Baltimore Ravens knocking out the Pittsburgh Steelers in Big Ben's return. Mike had a good week as well. We were 2-0-1. Or 3-0-1, excuse me, last week on the Philly pod against the spread. Mike nailed the Detroit Lions +6, not only covering the 6, but winning the game outright against the Vikings. Pushed on the Jets at 4 points over the Dolphins. But all right, we've got Week 10 now coming up. We are hot. We're on fire. Mike, I'm going to kick it off since I had another undefeated week.
All right.
I'm going to start out. We're going down to Tampa Bay. There were the infamous Buccaneers, who are 3-5 Buccaneers clashing with the 2-6 Chicago Bears. And games in Tampa Bay, and the 2-6 Chicago Bears are 2.5-point favorites on the road against the Buccaneers. Tells me everything I need to know. I'll take the Bears to cover the 2.5 points and win that game against Tampa Bay. And then we're going to go keep it local here in the Keystone State, where those Pittsburgh Steelers are taking on the 7-1 Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott. And in that game, despite the Cowboys, Mike, being 7-1, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 2.5-point favorites. Tells me everything I need to know. I say Dak and the boys go down. Go down. The Pittsburgh Steelers bounce back. Give me the Steelers to cover the 2.5 points. Take down Dak and the boys.
Oh, man. Well, we're going to stay in the Keystone State, where your Philadelphia Eagles are taking on the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are 1.5-point favorites. Give me the Atlanta Falcons to beat the Philadelphia Eagles.
And that's when we're going head-to-head on.
Yes.
You know what? I'll even do. I feel so confident about that. I'm going to put that Eagles game. I'll put that in my plays for the week. You get a trifecta this week.
Yes.
I'll take the Eagles there.
Then we head to San Diego, where the Chargers host the Miami Dolphins. The Chargers are favored by 4. I got the Chargers to beat the Dolphins.
Okay, so you got the Chargers covered.
Yes.
Okay, I like that play. All right. Oh, hey, we got a phone call coming in. Phone call coming in the Philly pod here.
What did I tell you, Dave?
Let's see what we got. Hang on. All right, we're going to answer here. Hang on. Oh, Pennsylvania calling. Okay. Hello, you've reached the Philly pod.
Oh, come on, Dave. You got to pay the bills. You got to pay.
No one on the other end.
Gotta pay the bills.
No one on the other end.
Gotta pay the bills, man. It's a prank caller.
Maybe it is. No one on the line. No one on the line for the Philly pod. Anyway, so there are your plays of the week. I'm going with a special trifecta this week. I've got the Bears covering the 2.5 at Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh Steelers covering the 2.5 at home against the Cowboys, and a Philadelphia special. Take the Philadelphia Eagles at plus the lines at 1.5 now, you said?
Yes.
All right, 1.5. I saw it at 2, but you got the Eagles at plus 1.5 taking on the Falcons. Mike has got the Falcons covering the 1.5 on the road against the Eagles, and the Chargers covering the 4 at home against the Dolphins. Yes. There are your locks of the week. All right, so before we do shout-outs, obviously we just had the presidential election this past week, and you know, we talked a little bit about the election on this podcast. We're not going to delve into it too much, but it's a pretty historic moment.
It is.
Either what the result turned out to be.
Yep.
You know, obviously there's some strong thoughts on it, but it's worth mentioning.
It is.
You know, Donald Trump, the people spoke. People spoke, Mike. Donald Trump elected the 45th president of the United States in one of the rare instances. The candidate who lost the popular vote wound up winning the electoral vote.
Yes.
And he's going to be president. A lot of people are not happy about it. It's understandable, given some of the things that were said during this campaign. But I'll just get my spiel on it. You know, I was not, you know, I was outspoken against Trump as president. But, hey, people spoke. You know, the people spoke. I think what happened, I think people were a little more unhappy than what we all realized and what was led on, especially by the media. And I think that showed in the results. And regardless now, we need to come together.
Yes. Okay,
I understand people are not happy, but this is the result. Okay, this is part of our democracy. Okay, this is why we have free elections.
Yep.
So Trump now has his chance to change things, and we have to. I think the fair thing to do, we have to give him a chance. I understand there were some things that were said in the campaign that struck a nerve with me. It made me uncomfortable, many as well. But I think to do the American thing, we now have to get on board, even though we might not be happy with it, and we have to give this a chance going forward.
I'm with you. I'm actually with you 100% and 10%. Wasn't happy with some of the stuff he said, but he is the president, so I am willing to give him a chance to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Because I did vote for Hillary. I'll admit it. I did vote for Hillary. But now that the election's over, can't do anything about it.
No.
Give him a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, give him a chance. Let him prove you wrong. I mean, he's done it so far. You know,
he certainly has. I mean, I didn't think we would ever get to this point.
No.
But yeah, you know, I mean, we just have to see what happens. And the thing that you have to keep, that I'm keeping in mind, like he is going to surround himself with lifelong politicians.
Yes.
Okay, so I would hope that they're going to be able to keep him, reeled in and not let this get too out of control. I would think he's going to look to them, turn to them for advice, and hopefully listen to them. And we just got to wait it out now. We got to wait it out for these 4 years and see what happens.
And a little fun fact, the Simpsons predicted this.
Oh, did I heard about that? Yeah, I heard there was something like that. Yeah.
They did. And the map looks almost identical to the one in this year's election, too.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's
really.
funny.
Yeah.
Well, we mentioned that. I loved watching it, dude. And the point where I don't know about you, but I'll just say this, and then we got to get the shout-outs and sign off. The point where I got with the election where I was like, Hillary Clinton is in trouble, when I saw how close Virginia was in a state that was Tim Kaine's home state that she was supposed to run away with, when I saw Donald Trump leading as long as he was, that's when it hit home with me that this is going to be a little closer than what we all thought.
Yeah.
And he got the swing states. You got Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania going Republican for the first time since the 1988 election.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
And when he won Pennsylvania, I was like, oh crap. This just got a whole lot harder for Clinton to win.
It did. And that was probably, he got that. Once he got Pennsylvania, that was pretty much the nail in the coffin at that point because he already got in Florida. But we got to give him a chance.
Yep.
We got to see what happens now.
Yep.
People spoke, so we got to get on board with it.
Yes.
But we just wanted to hit on that really quick.
Yeah.
Listen, it was going to be a historical election either way. You could have potentially had first female president or a complete outsider.
Yeah.
A complete outsider to politics coming in.
I mean, that's what America needs, an outsider.
Maybe it does. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Yes.
The next 4 years are going to, I'll say this, the next 4 years are going to be very, very interesting.
I would agree.
Either way. But, all right, we got time to wrap it up here. Coming down to shout-outs. We're going to start off on Twitter. I guess I'll take Twitter, SoundCloud. You got Facebook?
Yep.
All right, we're going to go to Twitter where we have, I apologize if I mispronounced this last name, Lois Becky, Thrill Vibes, Instagram Growth, Dom's Dis, and Denise Stainer. Thank you for following us on Twitter. Now on SoundCloud, we gained one new follower this week, IB, Tyree Wilson 7. Shout-outs to you guys. Thank you for following us.
And on Facebook, we've got Christina Brown. I'm sorry if I pronounced this first name wrong. Tak Abdullah, Sabrina Harvey, and Nika Johnson. Thank you so much.
Thank you to all of you guys and gals for supporting us here in the Philly Pod. Again, without you, it wouldn't be able to make it happen. Thank you to all those on Twitter who responded, got back to us with your thoughts on Doug Pederson. Thank you for that. And again, you guys can check us out. We're on Facebook, Twitter at the Philly Pod, SoundCloud, YouTube. Download us on iTunes. There are many avenues for us to view. Check us out and spread the word.
Yes.
All right. Well, coming up here, time to sign off. We'll see what happens with the Eagles and Falcons.
Yes.
They'll have a big game, tough game. By the time you listen to this, it means it's going to be Seattle Seahawks in Seattle.
Yep.
That'll be a tough one to win. We'll worry about that then. I've got to win. Remember this for the sandwich bet. I've got the Eagles.
I got the Falcons.
Yeah, he's got the Falcons at a point and a half. Anyway, catch you guys in the next episode of the Philly Pod. I'm Dave.
I'm Mike.
Catch you guys later.
Later.